and welcome to episode number 115 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin, and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys have had a good couple of weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks. I feel like I'm getting back on a kind of a regular schedule, which is really, really nice. But yeah, I hope things are doing really well where you are. I guess let's just do a little tiny update first, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff that I have for you. So in the last episode, I was saying how we had just gone into a lockdown and Avery was going to be on spring break, but I thought that afterwards she wouldn't be going back to school basically. And that has pretty much been what has happened, except now we are in like super lockdown. Schools are closed, a lot more restrictions have been put into place. So yeah, fun times. But Avery is home today. Schools are closed indefinitely at this point, so they did not give a date, which I don't mind because I've said in the past, them giving a date and then changing it and changing it and changing it. At least now we know. Right now there is no date. It's just they're going to have to just see how things go. But she is home from school. She has virtual learning today, but we are in a little time period between meets that she has, and I just put Kira down for a nap, so I'm trying to squeeze this little, take this little moment that I have and sit down and show you some of the projects that I have. But because she is home, it might be harder to fit episodes in. I'm going to do my best. It's just when she has virtual learning, she is on the computer. The computer is pretty much occupied all day, and we have one computer, so it's harder for me to get on there and edit and do stuff like that when she is using it all the time. So, and the other thing is Ravelry too. So I'm not going to be in Ravelry as much, and we'll just have to see how recording goes. But like I said, she's kind of between meets right now, so I have this time, and I have been doing a lot of knitting. Last week I took advantage while I could, and I feel like I've made a lot of progress. I'm really excited to share what I've done with you, but before I get into that, I just have one other little announcement. This weekend coming up would be the weekend that the Toronto Frolic would be taking place. If it was a normal time and things were as they always have been, this would be a Frolic weekend. And last year I wasn't going to be able to participate anyway because it was right when Kira was born, but I was really hoping that this year I'd be back into doing shows and stuff like that, and that is just not the case. So I'm not sure what they're doing. I think they're doing like a virtual show where you can visit some of the vendors online that would have been participating. But I've been working really hard to try and make some new items for the shop and have them ready to put up for this weekend. So I'm going to show you some of those at the end of the episode. So if you're interested in seeing some of the prints that I've actually sewn up that will be going into the shop, you can stay tuned at the end. But I will let you know now that I am planning on having a coupon code available for this coming weekend only, so the Saturday and Sunday, and it will be a free shipping coupon. That way it would just be kind of like if you were going to the show and you just wanted to pick up some stuff and you didn't have to worry about having them shipped, there will be a free shipping coupon. I believe my coupon for that is just kind of like free ship. I'll put it down at the bottom. I might change it, but whatever the coupon is, I will put at the bottom there. And the nice thing is that even if you wouldn't be able to attend the Frolic because you don't live in Canada or you don't live locally, you can still shop online, right? So you can take advantage of the coupon as well. I will just add this little note in here now. If you are someone who has never shopped from my site, even though I do have it all laid out on the first page, not everybody reads, but my site, even though I am in Canada, it is run in US dollars. If you are shopping from Canada, I do make an adjustment after purchase so that you are basically paying the same in Canadian. But there is also the option for Canadians to just check out with payment by check, and then you have you just choose that option. It says check. You're not actually paying by check, but then you can either pay by e-transfer or I set up a Square invoice so that it's Canadian credit card funds. If you're outside of Canada and you're outside of the US, I'm not sure what the exchange rate is, but I just wanted to put that out there that my site does run in US funds. So if you want to see some of the prints that I have, that will be at the end, but let's get started with the knitting that I have for you. So what do I have for you today? Basically, I just have a whole bunch of projects that I've been working on. I don't have any finished objects right now, but I am really happy with the progress that I've made on the items that I've been working on. So let's start with my socks. So as usual, we are going to start with my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks because this is the challenge that I've been in. I think this is my 3rd year now. And so yeah, every month I am working on a pair of Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. Last episode, I showed you the start of my April pair, and I am knitting them in this color here, which is called Knows Your Name, which is a reference to the show Cheers. So I think I had the cuff. I was working on the cuff. Was I done the cuff? Was I working on the sock? I don't remember. But I was near the beginning of the first sock, and I am still on the first sock. But that is mainly because I have been cheating on my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks with another project that for the last couple of days I've just been really, really enjoying. And even though I knew I should be working on my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks and get that first sock done, I didn't want to, and I wanted to work on something else. But I'm still feeling okay. We're past the midpoint of the month, but I think I mentioned last time that these socks, I'm making this pair for my mom, and she has smaller feet, so they should go a little bit faster. So yeah, last time I showed these to you, I think I was somewhere up in this area here. I have now finished the leg of the sock. I have finished the increases for the heel. I have finished turning the heel, and I am on the foot. Normally, I can get the foot done in a day if that's all I work on. I know there's been many months where the last day of the month I'm working on my second sock and I am on the foot, and I have no problem finishing it in that day. So technically, if I worked on this only for today, I could probably get this first sock done and then get my second sock cast on, and then I'd be feeling pretty comfortable about finishing this pair for the end of the month. So that's probably what I'm going to have to do, is just ignore my other projects for a little bit and work on this sock for the rest of the day. But yeah, I am happy with how this pattern is knitting up. I think it's really nice with the contrast of the gray and just these little stripes of color. You may notice I have changed my nails again. I'm finding that it's about every 2 weeks that I like to freshen things up, and if I can, I really like matching the socks that I'm working on. So I found in my little collection of Lily and Fox wraps this little set. I don't know if you'll be able to tell because there's kind of a glare there, but they've got like little butterflies on them. So I thought that was really cute for spring. And then the kind of green and pink and yellow I thought would pick up some of the colors that are in the stripes there. So that's what I am going to be wearing on my nails for the next 2 weeks, which will be fine. And then we'll have to see. It's kind of fun every month picking out a new skein and then seeing how I can match my nails. I'm really enjoying that, but we'll pick out something next new for May. So yeah, that's basically what I have for my DVD socks this month so far. And like I said, I'm not too worried at this point. I think if I can really focus on that first sock today, maybe going into tomorrow, we'll have to see. It's just, whenever Avery's home doing virtual learning, it's just, there's so much more of my time that is taken up helping her with certain lessons. There's only so much that the teacher is able to do through the computer. There's only so much that Avery is able to do on her own without assistance. So I just know that I'm not going to have the same amount of time to knit during the day that I normally would. Usually when Kira's down for a nap, that's kind of my knitting time. And now when she's down for a nap, that's kind of my like giving Avery my focus time and helping her with stuff. So we'll just have to see, but I think it would be possible to at least get to the toe by the end of the day today. So that's my first sock, and now let's go into my other sock. So I think last episode I also showed you that I had picked up my my Advent socks that I've been working on. I really want to try and get some of the socks that have been kind of languishing. I want to get them done because I want to cast on a pair of socks for Dennis and get him. That is on my bingo card. A pair of socks for Dennis is on my bingo card. I'd love to get a pair done for probably Christmas, if I'm being realistic. I know it wouldn't happen for Father's Day. I know it probably wouldn't. Actually, his birthday. His birthday's in December, so it's quite possible that I could make him a pair of socks for his birthday. But I want to get them started, and I just don't want to cast on another pair of socks when I have pairs that I've kind of, you know, have ended up sitting there. And so I had pulled back my Advent pair. I'm on the second sock, and I was like, let's just try and get this pair done, and then I would feel so much better about starting another pair. I put a little marker. When I showed these to you last time, I got quite a bit of work done on that leg, and I had just started the increases for the heel. So where this marker is, that's where I was the last time I showed them to you, and I have been working through those increases. So not quite as much work, but still a good amount, because I think I maybe have 10 more rows before I finish the increases, and then I can usually do the heel turn in like one knitting session, and then again, once I'm on that foot, I know I will be able to finish this fairly quickly. So it is still quite possible that I will be able to finish this second sock by the end of April, and then that will be another project done. I don't think I'll be able to mark off a whole square with this project, but I do have 2 squares on my bingo card that are finished 2 whips from pre-2021, and this will like help work on one of those squares, so it's like half a square basically. So yeah, that's exciting that I'll have some more progress on that. If you are not familiar with me, when I'm saying my Crafty bingo card, if you're not familiar, if you're a new viewer and you're like, what are you talking about? I'll just mention quickly here, the Crafty Bingo Challenge is something that I run every year for at least the last 3 years. I think I've done it in the Bling Your String group on Ravelry, and you can join anytime. Basically, you just say you want to join, I create a blank card for you, you fill it up with goals that you want to do for the rest of the year, and you just work on projects and mark off your bingo squares, just like playing bingo, right? If you check out the thread in the group, there is a thread entirely devoted to the Crafty Bingo Challenge. You can kind of see what other people have been working on, what other people have put as their goals, because the goals are totally up to you, and it's just a really fun way to kind of give yourself some focus, but still being able to work on things that you enjoy working on. So a lot of the projects that I have been starting, actually I think all my projects are things that work towards my Crafty Bingo Challenge right now. So that's what I've done on those. Those are my 2 pairs of socks right now. And then we have 2 garments. I have 2 garments to share with you. Whoever thought I'd be back making sweaters and having enough time to do that? I feel like last year I barely had enough time to make like little baby things, but I've been really, really happy with the amount of progress that I have made on the 2 garments that I am working on right now. So I think we're going to start with Avery's sweater. So I have made a good amount of progress on this sweater. I think there was 1 or 2 days, I think it was about 2 days that I worked on this last week, that I was really just putting a lot of time into it, and I'm really happy with where I am. So just in case you are new, I'll just put the picture up here. This is the Lightbox Sweater, and I had originally wanted to make these for Avery and for Kira last year, and I just did not have the time. So I started Avery's in November or December, knowing that I would probably have to carry it into this year and then finish it by the end of the year. So but yeah, so the last time I showed this to you, I had, I think, split the front and back and put things on holders. So like this is the back here, and I had gotten up to that section with the shoulders and the neck shaping stuff. Actually, this might be the front. Yeah, this is the front because there's some neck shaping. The back really didn't have any neck shaping. So this is the front. So last time I had finished the back, and I had put that on holders, and I had to work on the front and get that done. So I have since finished the front. I've done the shaping, I've got things on their holders, and then the next step was to start joining the shoulders and do that little sleeve detail that you saw in the picture, and I was able to do that. So we have a shoulder, check that out, we have a shoulder joined with the little striping motif, which I think is really, really cute and fun. And I have even joined those stitches around, and I am working down the sleeve now. So now whenever I pick up this sweater, I'm just working round and round and round on the sleeve. I don't really have to think about it, which is really nice. However, I will say, when I got to this point, there was some thinking involved. Once my head wrapped around what the pattern was asking me to do, it was not difficult, because it's doing a similar kind of chevron pattern that's down here. I don't think I showed you the whole thing in the beginning there. So here is everything I've got done. I've got the nice little chevron. You can see the two colors and the contrast, but you're doing a very similar chevron along the shoulder there. So this part itself was not difficult. It was just doing, the increases and decreases for the chevron. However, I remember staring at the pattern for at least a good 20 minutes, trying to visualize what they were asking. A picture would have been so helpful, because basically you had like live stitches over here and you had live stitches back here, but you were casting on stitches and you were putting the needle in, like the circular needle, in a certain way, but then you were only working across so many stitches. Like, you weren't working on all the stitches. And so when I was looking at the pattern, I'm like, okay, I understand based on seeing, like looking at what's there, that somehow I'm working this way, but then, all these stitches are on the, what's going on, right? So finally I was kind of able to wrap my brain around it, that all of these stitches that were on the needle were kind of just on hold waiting, and you cast on stitches here and you were just working on these stitches here down, and then with every row you were kind of working in those stitches that were on hold and decreasing those out. So it was kind of like you were joining. If you've ever done any of those blankets where you kind of join as you go by like working in those side stitches, that's kind of what was happening here. You would like work across, and then I think a slip and a knit two together, or some sort of knit two together, purl two together along the edges here to join those in. Then you were working across, and then some kind of joining over here, working across, some kind of joining over there, and then you were basically doing that until you worked all those extra stitches in and only had these stitches left, and then you kind of picked up around here and working down there. So once I figured that out, once I got going on that, it was a really fun, it was just like a fun little section that was just, it was, amusing to see it come together. And then now I'm kind of on the boring part. If you've been a long time viewer, you know how I feel about sleeves. I tend to get stuck on sleeves. I don't enjoy doing sleeves that much, but the pattern stated, like, I'm sure if I had 1,000 needles and I wanted, all these ends everywhere, I could have like put this down and done the other shoulder. But the pattern did say before doing the other part to do the sleeve. So I'm going to do the sleeve, and yeah, we're going to have to see how long this takes. I think if I pick it up a little bit every day and just do a couple of rows on the sleeve, it should be okay. And also, because this is a DK weight, it does knit up, a little bit faster than if it was a fingering weight, but we'll have to see. I do want this sweater to have full-length sleeves, so I'm going to have to just suck it up and work on the sleeves. But I was really pleased with how much I got done on this. It's starting to look it's starting to look like a sweater. Who would have thought that, I don't want to say this early in the year, but it's early enough in the year, right? We're not at the halfway point, but I'm making really good progress on this. This might be a sweater by June, and then I can get started on Kira's sweater, because yeah, if you haven't, like I said, if you're a new viewer, I am making kind of matching sweaters. So this is Avery's, and it's got this pink. This is the yarn that I'm using is the Stylecraft special yarn, and the pink is in Fiesta, and then this gray is Graphite. But Kira's sweater will also be using Graphite, the gray, as the kind of main color, and then hers will have a kind of like a magenta purple as the contrast color. So they're the same design, but just slightly different colors. So yes, I'm very, very pleased with how much work that I got done on that. But that is not it. I worked on my other garment and I'm really pleased with the progress I made on that as well. So let's get that out. So the other garment that I have been working on is one for myself, which is really exciting. It's been a while since I've made something for myself, and this is another square on my bingo card. So just to make an adult garment, and I figured if I chose one that was kind of like a warm weather tee with no sleeves and a body that was mostly stockinette, it's something that I might be able to handle with my current knitting time. So the pattern I'm working on is the High Trestle Tee, and this is a pattern that I bought, I think, back in 2015. That is another goal on my bingo card, is to use patterns that are already in my library, that I already have, so this kind of works towards that as well. So the last time I shared this with you, I had just cast on, and I had gotten about maybe 20 rows or so into the pattern, and I had just started the lattice pattern that you can see there. I have since finished the entire lattice section, and I'm working down the increases. So I haven't separated the sleeves yet, but I look like, you can tell from the back there the amount of knitting, a little more than the front because the lattice pattern kind of cinches it up. But I've gotten so much knitting done on this. I think I mentioned last time that this pattern is written row by row by row by row by row, which can sometimes be not ideal. Sometimes it's nice just for a pattern to say, here's this row, and repeat them this many times, or blah blah blah. So this is like each kind of row. But what is nice about it is that I've been writing down each row, and then as I complete it, I kind of cross it out. Just seeing all those rows kind of crossed off, and like really seeing like on paper the progress that I've made, and I can see that I have maybe 10 rows to go before I'm taking the sleeves off, and that's always a fun part when you're doing a top-down sweater, getting to that sleeve separation part where there's so many stitches that have been taken off your needle, is just, I love that part, because then it's just like your rows go by a little faster. It feels like you're working, more towards, you're making more progress, right? So I think I have about 10 more rows before I can separate for the sleeves. And I think I did mention last time that I was planning on just kind of casting off the sleeves with kind of a purl edge. So instead of working to the sleeve separation and then putting those sleeves on holders and then going back and knitting them, I'm planning on just knitting to a couple of rows before you would take the stitches off and put them on holders. What I like to do is I'll do a purl row, I'll do a knit row, and then I will cast off purl-wise the stitches that would then go on hold. And it just kind of makes a nice little edging that isn't too much. It's like they'll just end up being like little cap sleeves above the armhole, instead of picking up all those stitches then and kind of making an actual sleeve. It's just gonna be like a little cap sleeve. So I'm almost at that point, and I am so excited. Once I do that, I think I'm going to work in the round for a little bit, because I would like my bust to be covered with a whole sweater going around, because I also mentioned before that I'm thinking of really making some high slits along the side, so it's just really kind of open and breezy. And I want that, I don't want that to start like right up here, right? Like I want the sweater to kind of cover my bust, a little bit below my bust, and then it can open up. So I'm gonna have to kind of just see how things go as I knit on it. I'll probably have to put the stitches on. I think after I take the sleeve stitches off, I'll probably put it on a large needle and try it on and just see how things fall over my frame before I make the decision on where I'm going to split things. But that is the plan, eventually to kind of do 2 large slits, and just then I'd be working on the front separately and the back separately versus around and around and around for the whole body. But I am enjoying this. I am enjoying the yarn. I love this color. I think this is going to be really, really pretty for the spring and summer. I think I have a lipstick that's this exact shade, so that's going to be kind of fun to match up. But yeah. This, again, will work towards my bingo card for making a garment. It'll be a garment for myself. It's something I hope I wear. I'm really, really bad at wearing my garments, but I'm hoping that because this is kind of a design that I really see fitting into my wardrobe, that I might actually wear it. So in terms of the yarn, this is the yarn here. It's a cotton and acrylic blend, so you can see it kind of has a bit of a halo to it. So it just, yeah, it makes it look kind of like it's like a warmer weather, like an alpaca kind, or cooler weather yarn, like an alpaca, but it's cotton and acrylic. And then the color that I'm using, in case it's something that you like, I'll just hold that there. So there's the color number there, and there is the color there. So I'm enjoying this project. I bought this yarn a couple of years ago, I think. I bought a couple of sweater quantities for myself, and it's just been kind of sitting around, so it's really nice to kind of sit and actually use it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will end up being a garment that I will wear. So I think that is all the knitting that I have to share with you. So now I'm just going to quickly share some of the prints that I'm going to be putting up in the shop over this week. I'm hoping to have more, but it all depends on how much sewing time I get, like, for the rest of the week. As I mentioned in the beginning, because Avery is on the computer a lot, it might be harder for me to figure out when I'm going to be able to actually upload the pictures onto my website and do all the listings and stuff like that. I might have to really hope for some good weather this week, because if the weather's nice, they go to the park. And that's the other thing about, oh my goodness, this weekend was there was a bit of drama, a little bit of, anxiety, because I think it was this past Saturday that our government announced like the Uber lockdown, so we were already in lockdown, and then they were kind of like, nope, we need to do more, things aren't working, blah blah blah. And so they would really cut things down, and a lot of things that they put restrictions on were like outdoor outdoor activities. And so at first they were going to close the playgrounds again, and I was just like, oh no, like there's so many things. Close the school is fine, I understand, like all this other stuff I understand, but closing the playgrounds, I'm like, that's the one thing that gets Avery out of the house. She and Dennis will ride their bikes to the playground that's kind of near us, and it's just her chance to run around. She can spend hours there. And I'm like, if the playgrounds are closed, she's basically going to be a little couch potato for the next couple of months, because there's just not a lot to do outside in our area. Yes, we can go for a scooter ride around the block. Yes, they can go for a bike ride just, around, but she doesn't want to do that. Like, she doesn't want to just go for a random scooter ride or walk or bike ride. Like, she likes to go somewhere and have fun. So, I was a little worried about that, but apparently there was just like almost instantly this huge backlash, and so they kind of removed that restriction. So playgrounds are going to remain open. Of course, just they said use your common sense, be safe, whatever. I was like, that's fine, we can do that. But at least as long as the weather is nice, that is something that she can do. They go every day after dinner or after dinner usually. On the weekends it will be in the afternoon. After dinner, they will go and spend at least like 2 hours there. So that might be my key time, if Kira will allow it. That might be the time that I can do any computer work that I need to do. But that was a lot of blathering. That's just what I do. You're used to it by now. To say that hopefully I will have some time to get these bags uploaded, and then also I'm hoping to sew a little bit more. Now this would not be enough if the frolic was in person, I realize that, but I'm really happy with this little stack, considering I basically got no sewing done when Kira was an infant. I got no sewing done a lot of last year. The fact that I've been able to sew a little bit every day. There's usually after her afternoon nap, when she's had her lunch, we've had our lunch, and she just likes to kind of putter around, I'll come in here and I will sew, and sometimes I get one bag done, sometimes I get 3 bags done. But hey, that's bags that are getting sewn that weren't getting sewn before, right? So I have this nice little stack, and I'll just quickly show you some of the prints in case there's something that you're interested in, and then I think that will be it for this week. So we are going to start off. I wanted to find kind of a fun print, kind of like to do multiple, like more bags than usual. Usually I get 2 to 3 bags out of each piece of fabric, but I think it was 2 or 3 years ago for the Frolic, I did a bunch of beaker bags, and I saw a new beaker fabric, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to do another kind of like little beaker collection. So I'm going to have a couple of different sizes with this beaker print. I was really hoping to maybe dye some yarn to go along with it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I think for this time, I'm just going to be happy with getting a bunch of new bags up on the site. And yarn might have to wait. I might try and do some yarn for my birthday update. Usually on my birthday I like to do, like my birthday month, July, I like to do some stuff for the shop too. So maybe I'll try and dye some yarn for that. But I've got some really nice, like some paisley prints. There's this one, I don't know if you'll be able to see, there's an owl there kind of mixed in. So I've got that. I've got some sloths. I've got some foxes. I've got a whole bunch of knitting prints. So there's these 2. There's this kind of black background knitting print, and then I also have a white background knitting print. I've got a couple of bags in those. I think I bought bigger pieces of that fabric. We've got some chonky little cats there, and then I think I've got some sloth faces. So these are little, I thought these were hedgehogs, but it turns out, like the name of the fabric, they're like sloth faces, but you know what, they can be whatever you want them to be. But I've got a couple of different sizes in those various prints, and then I also have another little pile over there with a couple more prints that I would like to get done and sewn up this week and put up on the website. So those ones will be a surprise. These for sure are going to be on the website for this weekend. Those ones will be a surprise if I get those done. But yeah, I finally have some new stuff, and like I said, there will be a coupon for free shipping. And I hope if shipping has been something that's kind of, you know, is just not in the budget, because I know there's a lot of sites that I would love to shop from, and then I look at the shipping and I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, I just can't pay that much in shipping. Shipping is expensive everywhere. But if that's the case, hopefully, you know, having this little free shipping coupon might help with that for some of you out there. But that is all the knitting and shop stuff that I have to share with you for this episode. So as usual, Avery's going to pop on with Kira after and give you her little bi-weekly joke. But otherwise, I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day, a fabulous weekend, fabulous week, wherever you are. I hope things are, you know, going really well and looking up, and you're able to knit on all the things that you want, and you're, you know, really enjoying what you're doing. I just hope things are just fabulous, whatever you are doing. So until next time, I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Hello everybody, I have a joke for you today. Restart.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Hello everybody, I have a joke for you today. It's about my little sister. Want to hear it? Why did Kira cross the playground? To get to the other slide. Did you like the joke? See you next video. Bye. I hope you have a great day.